My name is Laurie Torres. I am a second-generation Filipina American. My parents emigrated from the Philippines in 1986. My dad worked for the US Navy, so I am also a product of military imperialism. So traveling to Europe was something I always wanted to do because the media told me that I wanted it. Granted, the media says a lot of things, but I wanted adventure and TV and movies. I was a huge fan of ABC Family movies, and the Olsen twins said that to find and be worthy of love, you needed to be cool, funny, and go on adventures. So I went to Europe when I was 18 because the adventure part resonated, and I felt that it was a rite of passage, especially as an American, especially growing up with white media. And before I go further, I want to be clear that learning about other places, connecting with other people, and expanding your worldview are all good things. But the issue is who has access and what is the impact of this travel. The people who have access tend to be rich, white, college-educated people. Not me. At least I wasn't college-educated without student loans. I have a lot of debt. The issue is cultural appropriation. I have seen so many Seattleites come back with tattoos of the Om symbol because they went to India, or wearing bindis, or getting dreads in their hair. And every time I see that, I can't help but think, what person who you interacted with, who was probably, trying to provide for their families, figure out where they're going to eat, where they're going to live, when you took their identity from them, did you think about these things that you need to do here? I think about tourist economies and how fragile it can be to depend on these white foreigners on their soil and not even be recognized for owning the resources that are there. I think about my family in the Philippines and them having to be migrant workers because the economy was so bad because of US imperialism and capitalism. I think of them needing to leave their families, abandon their language, and only teach me English because they did not want me to be mistaken as an immigrant, because they recognized that I would have way more access to more adventures than they would have, because even if I had brown skin, at least I sounded white. And then I think with traveling about the white saviorism. The people who go to Peace Corps, people who come through to help with economic development and to plant more trees and to build more homes. But the thing is, brown people in the so-called developing countries, in the global south, they don't need to be saved. What they need is for people, the tourists, to stop getting in the way of their self-determination. I'm angry, and I don't want to harm. I also want to move beyond guilt and shame and to more proactive approaches to supporting the work of saving the environment and our planet. The liberation of the privileged is also bound up in the liberation of the oppressed. And what both stand to gain is the fullest access to their humanity and a chance to not only save our planet, but to create a whole new world that has space for the ways that we are different and resources for everyone to live and thrive regardless of the difference. Why do I care? Because I'm a human, and there are barriers to accessing and being in my full humanity and power. The turning point for me was when I moved to Seattle and worked as a campaign organizer for the CTAG Living Wage campaign. I kind of realized that the issues here that immigrants and migrant workers face are issues that are echoed and exacerbated for the people who live in white people's vacation spots. And we are all connected. I mean, everything from, I think people take for granted the question of how are we gonna eat today? And where are we going to live? And will I be able to eat tomorrow? These are things that people in the developed world don't have to ponder. And yet, when they vacate their everyday lives to go traversing the world, they don't realize they're making it harder for other people to eat and other people to live. For the Seattle Globalist, I'm Laurie Torres.